So hello and welcome back to our 8th episode of Sagil Talks Too Much. In our previous episodes, we have talked a lot about artificial intelligence and its use cases in today's age. But what if you are a non-technical person and you don't have any understanding of what is artificial intelligence? Well, we got you. Today's episode is all about use cases of artificial intelligence for non-technician, how you can leverage artificial intelligence in your field, and what makes today's episode more special is the guest himself who transformed from non-technical person to an AI consultant and founder of AI ML etc. blog. So without any further delay, let's introduce the guest and get straight into the podcast.
Like currently we are building a course for non-technical professionals. The idea was that I myself was a non-technical person 1 year back, and then I learned AI on my own through online courses, and then I couldn't figure out what can I do with this AI knowledge. So it's like AI could do thousands of things, right? But then you also need to relate to the problem you want to solve, right? And in that time, once I was talking to my friend, and he got curious and he started asking me questions like, what exactly is this? The things related to AI. And when I was explaining him, he suggested, why don't you start teaching this? And then that's where I thought that many non-technical people, they are not aware of AI, or they think AI is some extraordinary technology, but there would be a demand for for them in AI world. So I thought, let's create this course. So this is what I'm up to currently.
Okay, so for non-technical people, as you said, that they think AI is something extraordinary. So how would you describe artificial intelligence to the non-technical? How you can, apart from just thinking it as an extraordinary technology, what actually artificial intelligence is?
See, artificial intelligence is nothing but how a machine can learn to identify patterns in data. So for example, if let's say there are images of cat and dog, right? So as a child, we also, for a newborn baby, a child doesn't know which is a cat and which is a dog. Once that child is exposed to those animals repeatedly, they start identifying that creature, right? Similarly, AI also identifies correlation and data correlation between the data, and AI also starts identifying the creature or object or anything else. So AI is just that. Now, in order to learn AI from a technical point of view, you need to know Python, math, and statistics, right? Because those are the concepts that are utilized. But for non-technical person, you don't need to know these things. Even if you know the basic know-how, you'll understand how things would work.
So are there tools that any non-technician people, if they're trying to get into artificial intelligence for the first time, just stepping into this field, what will be the next step that they should take in order to learn artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so currently, this is the gap we have identified. So currently, if you want to learn AI, majority of the courses are focusing on technical people, as in the prerequisite for learning AI is Python, math, and statistics. So either you need to learn those concepts, or if you already know these concepts or have learned in school, you need to brush up those concepts. Initial 3-4 weeks would be tough, or otherwise, if you want to learn AI. And that's where we identified this gap, and we thought, okay, can we create a course for non-technical people who don't want to learn Python, maths, and stats, and can learn the basic know-how of AI, which can help them in their job, in their career, or in general, a basic, in order just for a general awareness.
So you also run a blog, AI, ML, etc. blog. So this is basically about the non-technician people. You are training them regarding artificial intelligence.
Right. So we started as a blog, but then we soon realized that we need to make courses for these people. Like blog articles would not be sufficient for people to learn complete AI. So now we are designing micro courses, like micro courses, courses like one micro course could be on large language models, one could be on neural networks, one could be on deep learning, one could be on computer vision, one would be on how machine learning has evolved. So we have identified 8-10 micro courses that would be like of 30 minutes to 60 minutes. They can take these courses and learn AI. That's the thing.
Okay. So there, when we heard of ChatGPT for the first time, and that was the time many people, those who didn't knew what artificial intelligence, they got to know about it. And there started a common myth: AI is going to replace my job. So would you like to talk about this myth and just clarify what actually is going to happen and what is being replaced here?
So in my opinion, with every new technology, you know, there has to be some job loss. So this happened with when computer came. Before computer, there was a job called typist. People used to, and right, it was like many people used to do the job of typist, right? And then computer came, and then that job become obsolete. So with every new technology, some jobs, you know, they become obsolete, and some new jobs are created. So that's the so basically, in order to be ahead of the competition, or basically in order to gain the competitive advantage, you need to learn the new technology if it's gaining the prominence.
Okay. So when you train people, or when you train non-technician people related to artificial intelligence, are there any tough concepts that they don't understand, and or they find it harder to understand?
Right. See, so there are concepts. So so the first task is that for us is how to simplify those concepts, right? So we first try to simplify those concepts, and then we try to make it relatable, and still people do find it difficult. So we want to absorb the whole that situation. So we want to create a simplified courses, as simplified as we can. So
End-to-end
for example,
solution.
I'll
You mean
could you
end-to-end
please repeat?
solution?
End-to-end solution. So that you understand you basically you relate it with some real world. So I'll give you an example. For example, large language models. Now, how large language models came into prominence? Because and natural language processing was there. We have been seeing chatbots and all. So, for example, when I talk to you, so for example, I talk to you that, do you want to have a blueberry cheesecake? Now, there could be multiple things that come to your mind. It's not that it's not a single thing that comes to your mind that, yes, I would like to eat it, or no, I don't want to like to eat it. What things could come for probable things that, cheese, I don't like cheese. Maybe cheese has, fat in it. Or cake, cake would be nice, but, I don't like blueberry cheese. Maybe vanilla cake would be, or you could say, I don't like sweet, so cake, no, maybe if you have some vada pav for me. So things like that. So it's not that single point, it's the same thing. So our mind then process all this information based on the context, and then based on our experiences, you will give me the answer. Basically, all these things will come to your mind, and then you will give me the answer. Same thing has developed for large language models. Large language models also started having the context. So they write the from the broader context, and then based on their data set, they basically generate an answer. That's how it works. So this is one of the way we are trying to simplify the concept.
So, as you mentioned, natural language processing, large language model, these words are very technical. And if you talk about natural language processing, it's one of the subcategory of artificial intelligence. So, like, there are
Right.
many subcategories in this artificial intelligence, such as computer vision and other stuff. So, like, would you like to just talk about them and describe them in a few sentences?
Uh, so let's say, so I think so there are multiple things here, right? So if we specifically talk about computer vision, so before computer vision, AI or machine learning, they could identify patterns in the data. Data as in like, multiple things. So for example, you can predict price for a property, giving multiple input, location of the property, how big is the plot, and multiple things. So if you have that data, you can predict things. But what about image? How can you identify pattern in an image, right? How can you identify that this image is of a horse or is of a monkey, right? So computer vision basically deals with that part of the problem, where AI or computers can identify patterns in images, and then images got extended to videos, right? So that's how, you know that's what computer vision is. The basic problem it can solve is basic classification. So you give two images of cat and dog, you train it with cat and dog, and then computer vision can start identifying whether it's a cat or a dog, right? The next level could be, so this is, you have 10 categories. Let's say cat, dog, horse, mouse, right? Monkey. So you start training with these 10 categories, and then computer will start identifying all these 10. Now, what if a single image has multiple animals or multiple images? So that's the next level. So again, you start training that model, and then computer or AI will start identifying the multiple objects in a image. And this is the use case that we have is like the image, like faces that Facebook can tag on, like the on Facebook, right? Facebook can tag, so can identify faces and tag them, right? They can clearly show that this is a face. Then it came into our phone. So while we are taking a picture, like a phone camera can detect the faces, right? That's also AI. And the latest thing which we have, the latest advancement is, so earlier only computer vision only identify or classify, right? But now AI can generate it, and that's what generative AI is, right? So now you give a prompt, you say that I want an image of a cat drinking a milk. Now with all these things identified, computer or AI can generate that image for you. That's the latest advancement.
So, when we are providing data to the artificial intelligence, it's learning. Like, the more data we provide,
Right.
the more it will learn. So, when we hear the word data, there is always something in our mind called privacy concern. So, are there any privacy concern when artificial intelligence is taking in our data?
There are two things to it, right? So one, obviously, privacy concern. You can't take data just without any permission. So there are two ways to generate data. One is, obviously, if you are taking any data and any private data, we need consent from that person. Second is called data augmentation, especially for images and all. You can create your own data as well. So for example, for identifying, for training a data to identify a cat, a single image can be used in multiple ways. So you can crop it, you can distort it, you can blur it, you can reduce the size, you can rotate it, because at the end of the day, it's a cat only. So whatever you can do with that image, you can do it, and then you can feed it. So that's data augmentation, which you can always do. Yeah, and the privacy concern is always there. We need to take consent, or before taking any data, any before using any private data, or if a person owns that data, we need their permission.
So apart from AI, you also learn a video agency called VidSaga. So would you like to talk about it?
Okay, so let me tell you more about myself. So like AI, ML, etc. is my third startup. So my first startup was TV Bhejo, which we started back in 2011. We were trying to create a mobile-based recruitment platform, but somehow there were many challenges in it, and we couldn't. The market was not ready for that kind of solution. If you are aware of Apna, we were trying to create Apna back then, and then because we couldn't monetize it properly, so we had to shut it down. After that, because of my interest in filmmaking, I started learning filmmaking. I learned filmmaking on my own, and I started a video agency, and we started making films for ad films for brands. So we made films for Amazon, Cisco, VIP Tags, Hindustan Times, etc. And then COVID hit, and that business went down because you can't travel, you can't shoot, and marketing budgets also dried up. So that time, what we did, we basically converted into a marketplace like Uber, and we started focusing on overseas clients. And we also, like in terms of video, we started making animation videos, basically animation explainer videos, and we started approaching overseas startups from US, UK, Canada, Australia, Singapore, and we converted into a marketplace. So you can say it's like Fiverr or Upwork specifically for video production. So that's the current business. But last year I started exploring other things, and that's when I started learning AI, and then I learned it for about 6-7 months. My primary objective was to build a tool, but as I said, I couldn't figure out what exactly I can do, or what I can make in AI space. But then I found AI, education, creating a code for non-technical profession very relevant, because I myself was a non-technical person 1 year, right? So I could relate with this thing, and now because I come from a non-technical person, I can visualize what things they want to learn and what things they don't want to learn, and what things they need to know to go through. So maybe this could help me, and so this is what I am doing currently.
So are there any use cases of artificial intelligence in video editing?
Video editing, yeah, AI can help, but AI still is a nascent stage for video editing. They
Okay.
can AI can do video editing, basic video editing. AI can do. It can't. AI can generate videos as well, but they are in very nascent stage. It's applicable for very few use cases.
Okay. My last question to you would be, what advice would you like to give to someone, a non-technician or technician, first time hearing about artificial intelligence and want to get into this field and build a career out of it?
See, so I also come from a non-technical background, but I developed an interest, and I learned AI in about 4 months. On a daily basis, I used to spend some 5 to 6 hours, and that's how I learned. But apart, by learning AI, the major learning was that no matter what you want to learn, no matter what background you come from, and no matter how old you are, you can learn anything if you develop a genuine interest in it. Now, if you specifically want to learn AI, you can learn it. It's not that, the most of the questions that I get is that can a non-technical professional learn AI? Is it require lots of math? Is it require lots of coding? Can I learn at this age? I think as the AI is growing, AI world will need two kinds of professionals. One, technical, who will create AI models, systems, tools, and second, non-technical, functional people, right? Like business analysts, product managers, project managers, sales, marketing. There will also be requirement of people who will create regulation laws for AI, right? And then there are prompt engineer, which is which we see on social media. So there are scope in AI, and if you learn AI, it will definitely give you a competitive advantage. So if you have interest in it, I suggest that you forget about rest of the things and start learning it. Once you start learning it, things will become.
Okay. So thank you so much, Nikhilesh sir, for your amazing time. It was great talking to you. We got to learn a lot of things, and we hope to do this again because talking about artificial intelligence, it is a huge thing. And today we have a very limited time. So thank you so much for your amazing time.